Okay, so this is a video response over two videos that I just recently got done watching. The first was called Magic Washing Machine by Hans Rosling, and the second was Our Century's Greatest Injustice by Sheryl WuDunn, or something like that. I'm not sure how to say it, she's Chinese. But so I just wanted to comment a little bit about them. The first one by Hans Rosling, Magic Washing Machine, was my favorite of the two. I really liked he's a very good speaker. He's very good with communicating what he believes, and he's very funny. He gets into the crowd, and he's very entertaining. So I really liked his topic, and I could relate to it a lot too, because he spoke about his grandmother and his mother, and the first time that they had received a washing machine in their home, and just how much of a miracle that was for them. It's really something huge for a family to have something like a washing machine, because most of the world doesn't have that luxury. He talked about how the world is divided up into classes, and how 1/6 of that class is the upper class, and they have planes and jets, and they have electricity, they have gadgets, they have cell phones, laptops, iPods, they do whatever they want, and they're rich, and they spend about $80 a day. And those people are the ones that use up most of the world's resources, such as coal, electricity, and fossil fuels, to power their own supply of technological goods. After them, there's the washing machine, the people that have the washing machine, and they also don't make up that much of the world. Then there's those that have electricity, and then there's the people that are in poverty below the $2 line, who live off of $2 and still cook off of fire stoves. Just normally a big round thing where they can heat up water, wash their clothes in a river or something like that. They don't have a washing machine, but they want washing machines. And so he spoke about that, and I liked it a lot, because in my mission, there were actually at a lot of times where we didn't have a washing machine. There were a lot of places where I met people like that wanted to have a washing machine, who simply didn't have the money to invest in such a thing, and so they all washed them by hand. I washed my clothes for months by hand, sometimes in a bucket. We would heat up the water, and then we would put our clothes in there in the soap into this big bucket, and you'd stir it around with a stick, and that's how you wash your clothes. You didn't have a washing machine. And so whenever I was in an area with a washing machine, it was like such a blessing, because you didn't have to put your time into it, and you could actually just go and do your own thing, read the scriptures, or continue to work during that hour, those 2 hours, whenever the washing machine was doing the work for you. And so he's talking about that, and how a washing machine is just such a huge blessing for these people who actually do have a washing machine. How, because he and his family gained a washing machine at that time, they were able to use that time that they would have been spending washing clothes instead in a local library, reading books, becoming educated, using that time not just for what we call work for work's sake, but actually using it to produce some type of progress. And so that's what the first guy talked about. I liked it a lot. The connections that he made with people making money in the future is really important also. How in the future, in about 2050, everyone that was below the $2 line will be within the electricity. We hope that will be within the electricity capabilities. Those that had electricity will have those washing machines. Those that had washing machines will be up with the rich people making more than or spending more than $80 a day, and that everyone will move on up But at the same time, everybody moving on up means that we will be using more um, fossil fuels, more coal, more of these natural resources, which we won't have. So we need to reduce the amount that we use by the people that are most using it, the upper class, those using $80 a day or more, need to cut back a little bit on that and start using green energy also to cut back even more on that, so that we can save those um, sources of energy for future generations and such. But that it will happen. We will continue to get better, and more people will be receiving washing machines in the future. But we just need to think about how big of a blessing it is today to have those washing machines and all the technological um, things that we just happen to have. It's really not much of a given, but it was good. I liked that one. Hans Rosling, he can speak really well, and I liked his topic. The second one was by Sheryl WuDunn. Hers was, I don't know, I didn't really like her speaking style. I thought she brought a lot of good information, but personally I was just like, she is not that great of a speaker. But she spoke about our century's greatest injustice, which she named gender, what's it called? Inequality. That women all over the world are not on the same playing field as men, that men are still above women in all of the world, in every society, and that in some more developed countries like the United States, like in Europe, there are more women. They tend to live longer than men, but in the world overall, that there are more men, because people in these underdeveloped countries don't want women. They don't want girls in their family. They want men. They want boys. They want boys that they can educate, that can sustain them. And women are just more like there for the household chores and such. She spoke about how that it's this huge injustice, and it is. That the problem of the century is this inequality, that we aren't breaking the gender line. That countries that are looking for improvement aren't putting their resources, aren't using all their resources, mainly women, to help them improve. They don't understand the worth of women. They don't understand how much they can accomplish. And so she was very enthusiastic about her topic, and had done a lot of research, and had been to a lot of places and heard a lot of stories about girls that had been mistreated, misused, put into situations where everything seemed like it was going downhill, and that they would either die or be stuck doing something meaningless their entire lives. And yet, because of the donation of one wealthy person here in the United States or wherever, because of that donation, that person was able to leave poverty and was able to make a life of their own through, I don't know, the goodwill of someone else. And that was her main point, I think, that if we put forth something of ours, once we have everything that we need, if we put something more towards those that need, then they will be able to go out and help the world and save lives and change their lives. She mentioned from I don't remember what she said exactly, from a bad circumstance to a good circumstance, as long as if we give them the chance to do that. So that's what her main point was. So that's that. I really like these videos. Hope you like this commentary. Hope it helps you out. Bye.